Boker Tov, Chaverim. We are in Masechet Pessachim. We are in Daf Zayin Amud Aleph. Good morning, Masechet Pessachim, Zayin Amud Aleph. Dirshu Amud Yomi. Let's go from the bottom of the page of Vav Amud Bet. The Gemara says we're speaking about Bitul Chametz. So a person who wants a Gemara, there's a Gemara over here. There's more Gemaras around. Here, there's a Gemara. Oh, Baba Kama. There's on my desk maybe, over here. Over there there's maybe. Reuven, you need one. Huh? Okay. It's taping. Okay. So we're speaking about Bitul Chametz. So it's not enough, we said yesterday, to do Biur. It's not enough to burn the Chametz. You need to do a Bitul Chametz. You need to nullify the Chametz, if you guys saw the shir yesterday. And the reason why we need to do a Bitul Chametz, it's not enough burning it, because it's very, very possible that you're going to forget something, you're going to miss something. So if you're going to miss something, and you're going to come in to Pesach after the Zman of Disu, you are going to have some food over there, some donuts, and you're going to, for one moment, say, wow, that donut looks good, and you're going to like the donut and want the donut, and once you want the donut, you just over on the Isur of owning Chametz on Pesach. So the Gemara says, so you have to do a Bitul. Everybody got this? Biur Chametz and Bitul Chametz. Biur is burning it, and Bitul is Kol Chamira. You gotta say Kol Chamira, because if you do not say it, you might end up finding something during the Chag, and if you own it, you're getting into trouble. So the Gemara says, second to last line, V'niftele be'arba, V'niftele be'arba, V'niftele be'chamesh. Why do we need you to do the Bitul Chametz at night after your Biur Chametz? Sorry, after your Bdikat Chametz. So at the night on the 14th, you're going to check your Chametz, you're going to get everything in a bag, you're going to have your 10 pieces, and then you're going to say at the end of that, Kol Chamira. Why do we need to say Kol Chamira then? Why don't we wait till the next day? What are you making me crazy? I'll do the next day in the morning, I'll take a moment and I'll say, it's already tired, we're tired, we did a long time, an extra 10 minutes, get the family together, give me a break. I'll do it then tomorrow, the next day at the 4th, 5th hour. The Gemara says, Din ma pasha beno mivater. No. Since you're involved in checking, so you're involved in the chametz, you have chametz on your mind. When it comes in the morning and you're rushing around preparations for Yom Tov, you're not thinking about your bitul chametz. So if we just tell you do it at hour number 3, number 4, sometime in the day, you might very often forget it. So the Gemara says, Velo mivatele. So we just now to the page 9, Amud Aleph. Viniftele b'shit. Okay. When comes the 6th hour and you already have to burn it, so do a bitul over there, which actually we do the bitul over there, but we do it like a little bit before the 6th hour. We did it right before the end of the Zman of burning the Chametz. So the Gemara is saying the last hour you're still allowed to burn it, so do the bitul over there at 6. Niftele b'shit. Says the Gemara, Kivandi surah de rabanani lave, kedoraita damya. It's interesting. You don't really own it anymore. We made it that you can't have hana from it. Don't forget, until the 4th hour you can eat Chametz. During the 5th hour, you can own chametz and you can sell chametz. And that's when we sell to the goy for the community. And then the last hour, you can't own it, you can't have any benefit from it, you can only burn it. And so it's true that you're allowed to own it to go to the fire, and you go to the fire outside and you throw it in the fire, but it's not really yours anymore to own, to have hana from it, and therefore you're not allowed to do a bitul. So your bitul doesn't really work. We have to ask a question why we do bitul at that time. I have to check the times. But that's what Gemara is saying over here. Vela birshute kaime. It's not really yours to do a bitul. Velo matze mivat mavtin.
So there's a question. If it's not yours, how are you allowed to burn it?
That's so exactly right. We take away the ownership in terms of benefit. You can't give to your dog. You can't, instead of giving your dog some food, you're going to give him your bagel. You can't do that. You can't sell it, but you're allowed to burn it. So you're only allowed to own it in terms of burning. But anything else, it's not yours. By saying bitul, I own this and I'm making it nullified. You don't own it that time. The same way on chametz itself. I don't know if you were here on Pesach itself. I don't know if you were here yesterday, but we said yesterday that what if you find the chametz on Pesach? What do? So make a bitul. I see a bitul. It's not yours to do a bitul. It's yours that you own it to do an isur, but it's not yours to do a bitul. The Gemara compared that to a bow in the Shud Rabim. Let's say a guy goes outside in the street and he digs a hole in the floor. He digs a hole in the grounds. Once he digs a hole in the ground, what's the halacha? He digs a hole in the ground. What's the halakha? He's responsible if anybody smashes into it. Somebody breaks himself, but he doesn't own it. Okay, I made it, so you have to pay for it. Your ownership of it, you're going to pay for damage. So I'm going to start building my sukkah over here. It's not yours, and that we make you own it for damages, but we don't let you own it fully. So the same thing with the chametz. You own it that you did an isser, but you don't own it that you can do a bittul. The Gemara says
it was on the vow.
that was yesterday. Vav Amud Bet. The Amar Rav Gidel, Amar Rav Chia, Bar Yosef, Amar Rav. המקדש משש שעות ולמעלה אפילו בכי תיקון דינתה אין חוששים לקידושין. Amazing. And where do we see this? That he said Rav Gidel, the name of Rav Chia Bar Yosef, a guy on Erev Pesach. He comes and he tells the lady, הרי את מקודשת לי בבגל זה. He gives her a bagel, he gives her a donut on the finger, and he gives her a Cheerio, and he makes her Ari Mikudesh. She's not married. Now don't forget, to get married, all you need is Shaveh Pruta. Even the smallest amount of value, you're allowed to get married with. Now, this is a time, only the Rabbanan that you can't own it. And still, so the guy is marrying the girl, and we tell the girl, you are not married. You can go ahead. She can get married the next day to somebody else. Go ahead. There's no problem. This is a big chidush. Because you see that from here, that the chametz for that 6th hour, Mordechai, is worthless. You cannot marry a woman, to the point where we allow the woman to go get remarried. You might have thought Eshadish. Rashi discusses, by the way, because there's a problem with this. This is only the Rabbanan. The chametz that it's not there's no ownership on the chametz for that hour, is only the Rabbanan. Doraita, it's really yours. We put you a Gzera de Rabbanan the last hour. We take it away de Rabbanan. And you're telling me now that the guy got married, Doraita she's married, and the Rabbanan she's not married, and you have Eshetish and she's going to get married, she's going to have a kid, it's going to be a mamzer. You know the severity of that? So the Rashi explains that Kora Mikadesh Adata de Rabbanan Mikadesh. What do you say when you get married? Ariad Mikudesh Li Kedat Moshe B'Yisrael. We go with Chachamim. Whatever the Chachamim say, and Chachamim have the amazing schut, the Beit Din has the right to make your items worthless. They can take your money and your properties and say, this is hefker. It's mine. You don't own it anymore. Who gives that power? The Torah gives the power to the Chachamim. So they made your chametz Erev Pesach after the 6th hour, in that 6th hour, not yours. It's hefker. It's not yours anymore. So to the point that you can't even marry a lady, so you can't do a bittul as well. So that's why that's why the halakha is you need to do the bittul at the night.
So if you didn't sell your chametz before Sheshar, it's mevuta, so you can use it after.
If you didn't sell your chametz, it's not yours. You're absolutely right. Why do we sell the chametz?
So why you cannot use it after Pesach?
You can use it after Pesach.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, why do we sell the chametz? Nathan's asking a great question. When do you need to sell the chametz? Many people can ask you, I have nothing left in my house. I have nothing left. I have no chametz. I did my biur. I checked everything. I burnt everything, and I did a bittul. So even if I find the Cheerio, if I find something after Pesach, it's not mine. And if I find the donut over there, find a box of crackers, what's the problem to eat it after Pesach? No problem. So why do you sell? Really, that guy doesn't really need to sell.
In case you find it during.
So, but I already did the bitul. So the bitul means, what are we doing on the night when you're checking Pesach? You're burning, got everything. Okay, we found something like in my house 2 years ago. We checked under the bookshelf. There was Cheerios ad hashamayim. Cheerio, because my kids there, I took a feather, Cheerios. They were so happy to see that we found something. It was like, till today they talk about we found the Cheerios. So what happened if I burnt all my chametz and I didn't say a bittul? Those Cheerios, I own them, and I would be in perfect. But since I said a bittul, it's not my Cheerios. So if I take the Cheerios, I want to clean them up and eat them, no problem after Pesach. It wasn't mine. I didn't do any zoom. So why are you selling chametz? That's not really why you sell chametz. You don't need to sell, that guy doesn't need to sell chametz. The reason we sell chametz is the guy wants whiskey, he wants to keep it, he's not doing bitul on it, and he's not doing biur on it, and it's there in his closet. What are you going to do? So we say it's owned by the goy, like we saw. We put the mechitza.
After Sheshar, the Chachamim was mevatel chametz. So even if
mevatel,
not the whiskey,
mevatel,
not the whiskey.
that you. So this is what we said yesterday. Even on Pesach itself, you didn't do any bitul, and you find the donut in Pesach. It's not yours. Yeah, it's not yours for ownership, but it's yours for the Isser. We mechalek the ownership to two things. You own it in terms that you did Isur Doraita, but you don't own it that you can say bitul on it, sell it, or do anything with it. It's very interesting. So that chametz is Isur Rabbanan after Pesach. So that's what the Gemara says over here. Let's go weiter. The Gemara says, Vehadetanya, lo. one second. And by the way, what is this chite kundita? These are certain grains that are growing in a mountain in a very hard climate where they are so dry and so hard that if water fell on them, they usually don't even become chametz. You know that we're machmir to cut all the grains for all the stalks of wheat that we're going to use for the matzah. We cut it when they're still green, because if they become dried and water falls on them, we're scared they become chametz in the field already. So we're very machmir that we cut them when they're green. We don't cut them when they're already dried up. So these ones, even if they're dried up, even if water falls on them, and it's probably not even chametz, still we're so machmir on any similarity of chametz after 6 hours that you don't own it, that you can't even marry a lady with it. So that's the chiddush over here. So the Gemara is asking a question now. Vehat velo udebatar isura lo matzeh mafti mivatim le ve'atanya. So now we're going to ask a question we just said. Seemingly, there's a braita that seems to contradict everything we just said. We just said Erev Pesach after 6 hours, after the Zman Isur, on Yom Tov, no more bittul, what we just explained. Oh yeah? We seem to have something that contradicts that, even though we're going to get around it. But at first glance, it looks like a problem. V'atanya, aya yoshev bebet HaMikdash. Let's say a guy is sitting in Beis Midrash. V'niskar sheyesh chametz betor betor. And he gets nervous. Oy, oy, oy. I have chametz in my house. Mivatel bilibo, mivatel bilibo. So I'm over here. Oh, can't believe it. I forgot that I have in my freezer some challah. Bitul, it's not mine. Kol chamira, do the bitul. Mivatel bilibo, echad Shabbat, v'echad Yom Tov. You're allowed to do this on Shabbat Kodesh, and you're allowed to do this on Yom Tov. The Gemara says, Bishlam Shabbat. Shabbat, we can understand how it could be before Pesach. Mishkachadna kegon shichan arba asar liot b'Shabbat. What was this year? Erev Pesach was on Shabbos. So it could be that you're sitting in Beit Midrash. You can't burn it on Shabbat. So you're sitting in Beit Midrash at Shabbat. You do bitun. You're good to go. That's no problem. We still haven't found a contradiction yet. But the next thing,
Machshava. Well, why not with the word?
Yeah, bilibo and probably means good question. Rabbi David is asking a good question now. From here, it seems to be that the bittul works in the heart, because the Gemara should say mivater bisfatav. Maybe there's a raya over here that it works in the heart, and the chumra we do it be'al peh. Could be that you're right. Ela yom tov batar isura. Ela yom tov batar isurahu. So what did we just say? You're sitting in your house. It's yom tov, and you chap that you have what's called chametz in your house. What do? You do a bittul. You're sitting in Beit Midrash. You do a bittul. 1 second. That sounds like the bittul works even on Yom Tov. You cannot. Which Yom Tov are we talking about? We're not. There's no Yom Tov to do a bittul. The Yom Tov before is Sukkot. You're not doing the bittul on Sukkot. It must be on Pesach. So on Yom Tov of Pesach, you're doing bittul. So you see that the bittul can also work after Sheshaot. How are we going to get around this? The Gemara answers. Amar Rav Acha bar Yaakov Acha b'talmid Yoshev nifnei Rabo askinan. We're talking about a Rebbe in front of a student in front of his Rebbe. You're in front of the Rav. You're in the middle of a shiur. Why did it say in the Beit Midrash? Why can't you leave and go up and go to your house to do it? Because you can't get yourself up. Because you're in the middle of a shiur and it's busha to pick yourself up. And you're b'niskar sheyesh lo isa migulgeret betor betor. It's not real chametz. You're scared that it might become chametz. So the scenario is, you woke up in the morning, you started to make some dough, you're planning to make some matzah with it. Oh, you forgot that you go to the shiur, and you realized, 10 minutes ago I put some dough together, and now I started the shiur. What did I do? I had 5 doughs. 4 of them I put them in the oven. The 5th one I was going to put in the oven. What did I do? I left it in the fridge. Maybe it's going to become chametz. It's not chametz. Maybe it's going to become chametz. Umitirareh shema tachmitz. You're scared that maybe in another 5 minutes it'll become chametz. Kadim umivatlele mikamed tachmitz. So what you do is you mivatel it, make it ownerless before it actually becomes chametz. So from here, there's no raya, there's no proof against what we said now. You cannot be mevatel real chametz on Pesach. We have a braita that says you're sitting in Beit Midrash. Yeah, that's not time a real chametz. You're scared that it will become. Since it's not chametz, you're still owner. You can mevatel and you want.
David, so you're saying this is dough that's about to be cooked?
Dough that's in the pot, that's going to be cooked, that's rising.
How can I do that on Shabbat?
On Yom Tov, you're allowed.
No, but what would they bring Shabbat?
Very good question. Rashi addresses this. Rashi says the Shabbat is a whole different thing. The Shabbat is a real chametz of the 14th, and the second one is the Yom Tov. Very nice. So the Yom Tov is talking about.
So now, the situation is that he has dough that should be cooked, and he's in Bet HaMidrash.
That's right.
So what do you, so
What is our?
so
What,
what happens,
let's.
what happens if it's about 18 minutes and his dough becomes chametz?
Then he's in a big problem. That's what we're talking about before the 18 minutes. Let's review everything we just said. You have to do on 14th at night. You got to go look for your chametz. Rani Ben Tzvi, you got to look for your chametz. You got to do bitul chametz. You got to do kon chamira. We're getting Rani, huh? He's joining us, huh? We're getting us. Slowly but surely. Okay, we got to do bitul on 14th of night. Why not? I don't need to do bitul. If I find chametz on Pesach, I'll do bitul. You're not allowed to do bitul on Pesach because you don't own it. Oh yeah, I have a braita. The braita says the guy sitting in Bet Midrash on Yom Tov, he remembers he has chametz and he does a bitul. No, it's not real chametz. It's dough that this is all going very fast. It's like he lives right next to the shul and he has the house next to the shul and he's making matzahs and he has tons of things and he put in the oven. I'm going to put this one in the oven. Oh, the Rav started the shiur. By the way, when Rabbeinu would start speaking in the city, everyone would stop everything. They would come and say, Rabbeinu saying Sibui Masyot. There was no fixed times. It was imagine Rabbeinu saying, now you live next door and they tell you, Rabbi Natan says, Rabbeinu saying Sibui Masyot. You just let everything go and you go. It's on Pesach, he's saying. Now, that was 13 minutes ago. And you realize 1 second I have another door over there. What are you going to do? So you're scared to get up in front of Rabbeinu. You're not going to pick up yourself up and go back to your house. You're going to leave the Sibui Masyot. It's embarrassing. Who's going to leave? So you just say, Bitul, it's not mine anymore. Kol Chamira, and let it become Chametz. It's not on my watch. The Gemara says, how do we know? Dai Kanami. And why is this? Because what does that have to do with Bet Midrash? If it's really going to become, this must be that you're talking essentially, you can't get up and go do something. It must be it's talking about a case where really you could fix it, and you could just put it in the oven and make it into a matzah, but you can't because you have something else which is holding you back from going back to your house and putting it in the oven.
How can you, question, sorry. How can you do a bitul to something that before becoming chametz?
Bitul means ownerless. I don't own it anymore.
No, but when you say like kal chamira, like every chametz that I have, but it's not in the stage of chametz.
Great question. So that's what I answered. If you have some money on you, you have some money. Can you put it on the table and say, this is not my money? Whoever wants can take it. Everybody will take it.
Yeah, but the status change. The status change. You do it before the status.
I just want to ask you: if I own a box of cookies on the 14th of Nisan, it's mine. If I put it outside on the street, right in front of my house, and say it's not mine anymore, is it mine? It's not mine. It was mine. Now it's not mine. I can do that on Yom Tov. I can do it on Shabbat. Rav Gedali Kenning has a letter which I use very often. He says, what do you do with people who give you money and they're not coming from a holy source? And you know, you know that the achizah, you have people bought you food. The food coming from the money. The money's not kosher. You're eating that. It affects you. So what do? You get a gift. You get a gift from a goy. You have grandparents that are not so frum. You don't know what they're doing on Shabbos. And what do you do? So he says you make it hefker and you take it back. It's not, once you make it hefker, the achizah of the person, the ownership of the person is removed from it, and you take back the item, now it's yours. Yes, you put it down on the table, and usually you need 3 people. So he brings it, Rav Gedalia. He says usually you need to do hefker instead of 3 people, but b'diavad afilu ben etzmo shitot. There's opinions that say you just do it hefker yourself. It's hefker. So therefore, you can make you have dough in your house. It's in your house, not mine anymore. Hefker. Okay, let's continue. Let's not go over. Interesting Gemara. Amar Rabba Baravuna. Amar Rav. Amar Rav. Apat sheipsha. So now you have a bread basket, okay? You have a little place where you're keeping all your bread. You keep your bread, you keep your chametz there, you keep everything there. What happened? Sheipsha. Now you go in, and by the way, don't forget that even the bread they used to have, the bread and the matzah looked like very similar. It was like pita bread, and it was like pita matzah. So you have something over here, you can't tell what it was. Apat sheipsha. What is it? Is this chametz? Sheipsha is it became moldy. It became ruined, it became spoiled. It became spoiled, it's moldy, it's rotten, okay? Apat sheipsha. Kiban sheravta matzah. And I don't know what you want to do with it. Maybe some pieces are still good, it's not so good. You can't tell anymore. Kiban sheripta matzah muteret. So at this point, the Gemara is assuming that you have like a bread box, okay? You have a box where you put all year, you put your bread over there, and you put your matzah over there. And when it's Pesach, you put matzah. When it's the weekday, you put your chametz. And now you have this thing inside, and you're not sure, is this chametz or is this matzah? What do we do? So the Gemara says, Kivan sheripta matzah, sounds to be, since you mostly matzah in that box, probably it's matzah. The Gemara says, Echidami, what are we talking about? Because I already gave you the answer, that it's pat sheipsha, that it's maybe. If you know that it was a bagel and it became rotten, so let's review. We just said if you have this thing over here, you have a bread box. You have some bread over here that's moldy. If you put in the basket majority matzah, so it's matzah. And if you put majority bread, so it's bread. 1 second, what is it? If you knew what it was, would have cared about majority? This is a bagel and this is matzah. This is a pita that became moldy. What do you mean? That's completely chametz. Ma'yaveh. So it must be that we don't know what it was. So you have this thing over here, you're unsure. Was this matzah or was this chametz? Was it cracker? You know, you got to be very careful. When you go buy matzahs in IGA, you got to be careful that it says chametz kasher lepesach. Because you have some that says chametz. It's chametz. You can buy them all year. And people made mistakes with that. You got to be very careful. So,
what would they create matzot for the year that's chametz instead of just and avoid?
They don't have to clean all the time. It's much more money to clean.
I'll tell you why. Because it's business.
But they sell the same price.
No.
They sell it as expensive as the other.
But for them, the cost is
They make more money out of it.
Yeah.
No, but either way,
Markups.
some people like matzahs. It's easier, it's mizanot, it's lighter.
Absolutely.
Okay? So you know what it is.
Ridiculous.
My iria kiravta matzah. Afidu kiravta matzah. Nami. Nizar batar batra. We have a rule over here. So you don't know what more you put in here. Let's go with the last things that you had over here. You're in the middle of Pesach. So for sure for the last few days you had matzah in here. It's true that this bread box, you have your cupboard, right? And in your cupboard during the whole year, what do you have? You have chametz. And during Pesach, the same cupboard you have matzah. So what are you telling me? If majority matzah, majority chametz, let's go with where you are. You're now in the days of Pesach. For sure, the last things that were here were matzah, and for sure you did your bittul on 14th of night. What do you have any questions that this is not matzah? This is for sure matzah. Because we go with the thing that showed up the last. Whatever was there near the end, that's probably what it was. That's called we go with batra. We're not sure what was here. We go with what we used it for the last usage. Ditnan. Ma'ot shnimsao lifnei sochare be'ema. Leolam maser. Don't forget, Jerusalem is a very amazing place. Jerusalem is the place where the Beit Mikdash is. Jerusalem is a place where all of the Jews are coming for 3 times a year for the Aliyah Regel. Jerusalem is a place where you can bring a korban anytime, and it makes you very holy and very spiritual. It's called the shlamim, and you pay for the shlamim. When you're going to the vendor, there's a guy there, a vendor of behemoth. What is he selling over there? Right outside the Beit Mikdash, there's a butcher. There's a store there's a place where they're selling animals. You're gonna buy your sheep. You're gonna buy your bird. You're gonna go into the Beit Mikdash. You're gonna give it to the Kohen, and he's gonna shecht it. You are buying korbanot. You're always buying korbanot. What money are being used for that korbanot? The money that is being used is usually money of Maser Sheni. Let's review our halachot. If most people had money from produce, farmer. You got to give, when you have your produce, the first thing you give is 2% to the Kohen. The next thing you give is 10% to the Levi. And then what you have, on 3 out of 6 years, you have a savings account. It's your money. It's called Maser Sheni money. And actually what it is, you take the fruits of the Maser Sheni, you take the grapes, you take the wheat, you take whatever, and that you're supposed to store it. And when you go to Jerusalem, you have a savings fund that you're going to be able to eat the food of Maser Sheni in Jerusalem. You don't have to be worried about going to Uman. You already put aside a fund the whole year. Comes Uman $5,000, I can't do it. But if you put aside money every paycheck, you put aside money, it's a Uman fund. It's automatic. It's forced from the Torah. Simple, a little bit like that. You got to go to Jerusalem 3 times a year. You got to bring the whole family. You got to have food. So we make you put Maser Sheni money aside. So far, so good. The usually Maser Sham. Now it's really produce, but you can transfer it into money. I can't carry all this stuff. What I'm going to carry bottles of wine over here and all this. So what do? Is you transfer it onto money. You do a switch. Now this money, this is worth $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. I have $5,000 of produce over here. Okay, this $5,000, I'm going to add a little bit of money over there. I'm going to add another 25%, so I'm going to add another 1,000. Say 6,000, for example, is going to come Maser Shem money. This I do whatever I want with it. I sell it, and this money I bring it to Jerusalem. In Jerusalem, I'm eating it there with me and my family, and I'm buying shlamim. I'm buying korbanot. Usually, we always reserve Maser Sheni money to buy korbanot. Guess what's the chidush? So during the Regel, for sure, all the guys who are coming to buy from the vendor are using Maser Sheni money. Nobody's going to use regular money because there's a lot of Maser Sheni money. All this is in the big Rashi. And he says amazing thing. Usually you get there and you have leftover money. Most people in that week time can't finish all their Maser Sheni money. And you might think, I'm going to invite other people, I'm going to give to other people. Everybody has it. Everybody has Maser Sheni money. Come, you can eat on my account. I have my own. I'm already stuffed with food over here. So what do? When they leave the Chag, this is amazing, they leave the money in Jerusalem. There's Avrachim over here, there's this. Okay, take this money and use it. So the guys have Maser Sheni money. So what do? They buy korbanot. You live in Jerusalem, there's an Avrech over here, he lives in Jerusalem, there's a family who lives in Jerusalem. Most people don't live in Jerusalem, it's like a tourist city, it's a Kohen city. So I'm coming with 10,000, I'm coming with 10,000, I spend 8,000, I spend 9,000, I left 500, you left 500. We give it to the people that live there, and we give it to people we like. This guy always helps me, Achnasat Ochim, when I come. This guy is giving me a lift over here, this guy's taking care of me, I give him. So everybody's doing favors to get Maser Sheni money, and then they have what they eat the whole year. Amazing. So now, what's the halacha if you go? Here's all this time to tell you what's going on here. Ma'ot shenimtzeu lifnei sochare be'ema. So you're at the cash of the guy who sells the be'emot to Maser Sheni, and the money's on the floor, and you pick up that money. What is that? Is that chunin money? Can you do anything you want with it, or you got to only eat with it in Jerusalem? Is it Maser Sheni money? Leolam Maser. That's Maser Sheni money. The Harabait, what about if you're in the temple? You're in the temple, you're in Yerushalayim, you're in the Azara, and you find money on the floor. What's the halacha? Chunin. It's chunin. It's money that's chunin. Why? Look well, Yerushalayim. No, I want to tell you why it's chunin. Because the Maser Sheni money, it's coming in mostly during the 3 regalim. But the 3 regalim are the minority of the year. Most of the year is a chol. So most of the money in Jerusalem, in general, is regular chunin money in Jerusalem. At the cash where you're buying, that's only Maser Sheni. In this store, you can only buy Maser Sheni, so it's Maser Sheni money. But in the Bet Harabait itself, well, if you find cash over there, it's probably chunin money. So you can take it and use it whatever you want with it. And what's the last thing? Be'Yerushalayim. What about in the streets of Jerusalem? B'shat haregel, maaser. B'shat yemot hashana, chunin. So if you find money in the street, a regular day in Jerusalem, depends. If it's Pesach, Yom Tov, if it's Sukkot, Chol HaMoed, if it's Shavuot, maybe the day before, the day after, that's all maaser money for sure. Most people here are maaser money. But during
the money is that.
During that time. But during the year, most of the money is chunin money.
Even Barabait.
Even Barabait. Barabait is always. Always. You know why? We're going to see in a second. You clean. Jerusalem was kept extremely clean. It was washed and swept up every single day in Jerusalem. So therefore, we're cleaning it up every day. So now it's 2 weeks after Pesach. Guess what? If there was money left over in Pesach, the cleaner would have found it. So if the money that you have today is not Maser money, it's chunin money. So what do you see from here? Alma amri kama kamai azde. Whatever was there, once we're used to cleaning it out and cleaning it up, so any money that was there from the get-go is gone. It's not Maser. The guy pocketed it. It's his merit. Azid v'ha'da'idna hu, and the money here now is ha'idna. It's from now. So the same thing with our basket of bread. Why? What did we say? Let's go back to our place.
You skipped there. V'hane
achini ninu, and these are new ones. Very good. V'hane achini ninu. These are new money, chunin money. The Gemara says hachanami in our matzah. Neima kama azid v'ha'da'idna hu. What are you talking about? If in the middle of Pesach, this thing I'm cleaning it up all the time. If there was food over here, it's already gone. I'm using it. It's already gone. The chametz food from the year. Now it's Pesach. So whatever this Pesach, what do you need to tell me? Rov. It has nothing to do with Rov. We go with Batra. Let's review. So now I have my closet, and there was no packages like you have today from the stores with everything. It's just food over there. Like like a fruit basket, just food. You just put food over there, and there's no things preservatives. You put the bread over here. You have a little closet. You open the bread, little cupboard over here, a bread cupboard. Okay, so you put your bread during the year. Erev Pesach, you clean it up. Everything's clean, and I'm putting in new stuff over here. I'm putting in new stuff over here, and it's probably matzah. I go look inside there. I have something that's moldy. What is that? Is that matzah or is that chametz? What is that? That's bread, or is that? Can I give it to the dog, or I gotta burn it? What is that? What's that thing? So we said something which doesn't make sense. We're going to change it. We says, if that place is rov matzah, so it's matzah. If it's rov chametz, it's chametz. So what do you use that for? We're assuming like you have two things. I have one thing where I put chametz all year. One is matzah only on Pesach. So it depends which one you found it in. The Gemara says that's not true at all. We always go with batra. Things that are cleaned up all the time, that are used from all the time, we don't go with majority, we go with last usage. The same thing in Jerusalem. You find money on the floor in Jerusalem. Jerusalem, we clean it every day. So if you find money in the regular day like today, it's cool. It's regular money. Take it and put it in your pocket and do whatever you want with it. If you find it in Pesach, it's Maser Sheni money, because all the money is there Maser Sheni. Why don't we say it's Maser... the last 2 weeks, Maser Sheni, Maser Sheni, Maser Sheni, Maser Sheni. 2 days later, it's still Maser Sheni. We go with Rav. No, we go with Batra. Because we clean it up every day. So here too, you clean up every day you're taking bread, every day you're using it, every day you're eating. You don't leave stuff over there. So what was, and we go with the last few days. The last few days was a Pesach. So there's no way of thinking that this is going to be chametz. The Gemara answers our question. Shani acha, it's different. Deep shua mochiach aliyah. Yes, you're right. We usually go with last usage, but here it's moldy. You see that it's moldy. Moldy from when? Moldy from 2 weeks ago. That's before Pesach. Pesach is 8 days. Also, if it's the first day of Pesach, second day of Pesach, tell me, your matzah becomes moldy in 2 days? It doesn't become moldy. Doesn't become moldy. The Gemara says, Ib shua mochicha aliyah, ki ravta matzah ma'aveh. Okay, the opposite now. You just told me if it's rov matzah, then it's matzah. We're considering this matzah. What do you mean? If it's moldy, clearly it's from before Pesach. Amar Rava lo tema sheravta matzah and asherabu yemei matzah ilaveh. We changed the braita. What it means is there has been a lot of days of Pesach. In other words, you have a moldy thing over here. Okay. Now, if it's the first day of Pesach, for sure it's from before Pesach. It's the last day of Pesach. There have been enough days that your thing could have become moldy. It's moldy. So now what do? If there's a lot of days of Pesach over here, so how do we read now the Braita? If you open up your bread box and it's been a lot of days of Pesach, we're going to say it's matzah. Why? Because now there's a very big possibility that it molded from matzah. Everything together is coming together. Usually this thing is cleaned up. Usually most of my usage is matzah during these days. It's moldy, and there's been enough days that it could become moldy matzah. It's matzah. The Gemara says, Yachi pshita. Of course it's matzah. What else would you think it's going to be? There's no other way of thinking it's something else. Lo tzricha de ipshua meruba. It's very moldy. Now you're getting into a problem. It's the 8th day of Pesach. Okay? You have something extremely moldy. Green, fuzzy. It's not a regular mold. It's like, when it's mold, it starts to get black, it starts to get white. Green. It's not that. It's fuzzy, it's green, it's mold, it's disgusting. So now, what do we say it is? Since there's been a lot of days of Pesach, it's matzah. How could it be matzah? It's so moldy, it's from before Pesach.
How does matzah become moldy? It's something that's...
Back then it was.
That's what I wanted to say. It's like last year's.
Yes,
matzah.
from here we see a proof. From here we see that the matzah of time was like bread. It's like what Yossi Cohen sells you, and that really becomes... Yes. Mao de Tema. So what's the answer over here? Mao de Tema. Mao de Tema kivan de ipsha meruba iglemita devadai chametz maniyahu. Since it's so moldy, for sure it's for Pesach. Kamash malan kivan sherabu yemei matzah ilaveh. Since it's been a lot of days of Pesach, Amrinan Kon, Yoma v'Yoma Nama Chamima Apa, they would bake matzah every day. And when you bake hot matzah, it's like soft bread, V'shada yiraveh. And where do you put it? Put it in the bread basket. Now you didn't eat the bottom one, so all the heat of all the new breads made it shirabu ve'abshat fei, and it became very, very moldy. So if we put all this together, we're talking about it's the 8th day of Pesach. You cleaned before Pesach this bread box. This cupboard is clean, and you cleaned everything up. And now it's the 8th day, and you find something super moldy. You say, "Wow, this is too moldy to be matzah. It's too moldy to be matzah, and probably it's going to be chametz. I can't believe I forgot a chametz." You didn't forget no chametz. You cleaned good, chazakah, you did things good. So why is it so moldy? I'll tell you why it's so moldy. Because you put everyday new bread over there, and when something is on its own to become moldy, it'll take 2 weeks, it'll take a month. But if it's hot bread on top of it, that increases the mold process, and it's become very moldy. It looks like it's 6 months old, and it's really 1 week old. That's the reason. That's the answer. We say to all the people, say the world is 6 billion years old. No, the world was in Yemei Noach, completely flooded and with hot boiling water, that it looks like it's very old, but it's really 5,785 years. The Gemara says, V'aditanya. Very, very quick. Umiazdinan batar batra. 1 second. In general, the rule of going after the last usage, is that a golden clad rule? Is that etched in stone? We're going to see lichora kashi on this. Umi azdinan batar batra. We really go after the last usage. V'atanya. Rabbi Yossi bar Yehuda omer. Let's say you have a wallet, and the wallet sometimes sometimes you use it for your regular money, sometimes you use it for your Maaser Sheni money, and you don't know what happened now. Oh, what is this money? Im rov chunin, in rov maaser. Depends. We go with the majority usage. Why going majority? What are you talking about? Now it's 2 weeks after Pesach. The last time you used this was Pesach. It's Maaser Shemani. Now it's Tammuz. You used it only for the last few weeks. So why are you going? So what are we talking? You have a bag over here. You have your bag of money. You have your wallet. Sometimes I use this for Maaser. Sometimes I use this for Chulin. What is this? Okay, what do you use it mostly for? Mostly use it for Chulin. It's Chulin. Mostly use it for Maaser. Why are you doing that? Tell me we go with the last usage. We just proved that we don't go with Rov, we go with last usage. So the last usage, just tell me what the last usage was, and I'll know. Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak acha b'gemai eskinan kigon shenimshtashu b'maot chulin u'maot maaser ven yadua ezemen basof. Yeah, you use it for both all the time, and you forgot. You forgot the last usage. That's all. You this pocket, you've used it sometimes for this, sometimes for this, and you just don't remember what it was. Okay, what do you mostly use it for? Mostly chulin, it's chulin. Rav Zavid Amar kegon shenimshtamshu bat tziburin. No, it's not a wallet, it's a box. And you put a lot of bundles in here. So sometimes you put a whole coins, a whole batch of coins chulin, a batch of coins maaser, a batch of coins this. You should write down all these things. But many times you think you're going to remember, you forget. I have it with ladies that bring b'dikot sometimes. They bring b'dikot and they don't remember what it was. You have to write it. I can't remember the second day or third day. You got to write on the b'dikah. You got to write on the things. Maaser money. I got money. Did I give maaser? I didn't give maaser. I can't remember. We gave to him. Write down right away. You gave a donation over here. You gave a donation over here. You made this much money. Write down, because you forget what happens. So here too, the guy has a big box. He puts maaser chulin. It's a cubby. He opens his cupboard on his desk in his drawer. Here's chulin. Here's maaser. I forgot what I did. I mixed up. Okay, what do you usually do? Mostly you put chulin over here. Yeah, everything's chulin. There's going to be a bit. There's going to be a bit. And some say no. It's in a pit. So you put the money in a pit, and you have this big pit over here. You have a little bowl, a jug, and you put. Now you're using it for maaser. Now you use it for chulin. But we take it out, we empty it out. Could be you didn't empty it out well last time. We can't go with last usage because there's things on the bottom that maybe you didn't empty out. So since, you use it only for maaser, use it only for chulin, but we can't really know what the last usage is because maybe you didn't clean it out properly, so we're going to have to go with rov. Last thing, Amar Yehuda, bodek tzarich shevarech. Yeah, when you say b'dikat chametz, you got to say, abodek, you got to say a beracha. Mai mevarech, Rapa b'amar meshmei derava, levaer chametz. Levaer, Hashem Kedishanu Mitzvotav Tzivanu, future tense, levaer. I'm going to burn. When you put tefillin, lehaniach. We always say future tense.
Because it's tomorrow.
Rapa b'amar mishmei derava al biur chametz. We say al biur chametz, on burning the chametz. Bidvad. B'nevaer kulian meno plige. Divadai ne'aba mashma. Plige ba'al biur. So anyways, we're going to do this tomorrow. B'ezrat Hashem. We always have to say the bracha future tense. So levaer for sure it's future tense. But what is al biur chametz? What does that mean? Is that future? Is that present? We'll see tomorrow. Biruchim to you. Chazakim to you.
I would say for the